There's something so simple, but yet so hard for my high achieving clients to accept. And that is we were taught male centered love, male centered relating, male centered sex. I wrote an entire book about this for the sex part with the pink canary. Heterosexual partnerships where we as the woman overfunctions, overgives, and mistakes this transaction for intimacy. And a truth that pissed me off, in fact, so much so that I denied it for months after reading the original research. But the truth is that marriage benefits him more than it benefits you, especially if you have super traits. He lives longer, he's healthier, he receives emotional stability, caretaking, somebody to do all of the invisible workload. And you, your life expectancy is shortened. You slowly find yourself erased in roles of mother, wife, because we give and give and give in hopes of getting in return. And this is a losing proposition. It's called the marriage benefit imbalance. And until we name it, until we see it, we are going to keep normalizing our exhaustion, normalizing that marriages are hard work. They are, but for who? I'm not saying run and get a divorce. I'm not saying marriage is terrible. I am just saying that for my clients, for the women that have had our success, our lives built on our super traits, our empathy, our loyalty, our responsibility, our hard work. And that gets us accolades and praise and awards on one hand. These super traits make us successful, but in love, in relationship, in friendships, they can actually be detrimental. And that's what I want to talk about today is how do we create relationships, and I mean all relationships, friendships, our relationships with our kids, family members, intimate partners that are mutually beneficial. Welcome to the Pleasure Principles podcast. I'm Dr. Jordan Wiggins, and I help high achieving women rebuild their lives after extractive love, divorce, betrayal, decades of overgiving using the pleasure centered method. Most women try to fix their relationships. My work isn't about fixing or forcing intimacy. It's about giving women like us, high achieving women with super traits, the language for what they've been living, for why this feels so hard, and teaching them how to build a life and relationships rooted in desire, safety, and power. So if you are a high functioning woman who is exhausted from holding it all together, you're in the right place. Maybe you've chosen to stay in your relationship, but you're ready to stop suffering. Rebuild your relationship with new rules and no more self-abandonment. Maybe you're preparing to leave, you're done overfunctioning, you're grieving what these years of overgiving has cost you, and you're ready to go with your power intact. Maybe you've already left, but the old patterns keep following you. They keep showing up with new bodies and new faces, and you're craving a relationship where you can finally be met. This is the podcast where we decode your super traits, name the invisible dynamics that have been draining you, and rewire your nervous system so love, intimacy, and desire are nourishing. You don't need better communication. You don't need to work harder at love. You need a pleasure-centered method, a new map back to yourself, your power, and your erotic aliveness. So if you're ready to stop overgiving and start receiving, you are in the right place. So my super women, do you know your super traits? Have you taken my super trait quiz? It'll take you 3 or 4 minutes. Head to the show notes if you haven't. So our super traits are part of what has us in extractive relationships. Even if we have 2 well-meaning, well-intended partners. So they would keep us loyal when we should have left. They keep you giving and receiving crumbs back. Our super traits keep us forgiving when nothing changes, and it keeps us working harder at a relationship when we should be doing less. All of this, all of our super traits feed imbalances in relationship. And if we think about it, and we can think about relationships with coworkers or friends, family, these traits permeate all these areas. So we carry the emotional labor, the second shift, the invisible repair, while those around us reap the benefits of the health and the stability and the overgiving. We do more, they do less. Okay, that's why we're exhausted. That's why our body is shutting down. It's why we have health issues. Remember, that's how I started this whole thing 12 years ago as a naturopathic doctor with a women's health clinic where the women were coming to me with the diagnosis. They're overwhelmingly prescribed antidepressants, etc. And it's not because there is something inherently wrong with us, but with our super traits, with the marriage benefit imbalance. We are surviving in unequal dynamics, even if we don't think we are. Even if, because when I run, the women are like, no, not my husband's great. Like, it's just totally me. It's my overfunctioning. It's my overgiving. When we run through the framework and she actually like looks at it through the pleasure centered framework, it's like, holy shit. We're just so naturally overgiving that we don't realize that it creates imbalance and disconnection over time. So there are some questions that I want you to ask yourself. Do you rewrite text multiple times or weigh your words so that you don't hurt someone? Are you quick to soothe others' moods and uncomfortability while silencing your own feelings? Do you feel emptier after sex? Like the next day after sex or a couple hours after sex, do you feel emptier instead of nourished? Do you minimize your desires and wants and needs and asks so the relationship feels more stable? Do you do more of the emotional labor? Are you the one initiating repair? Do you do emotional labor for the children or your team? Like, are you the equalizer, the balancer? Do you minimize your own ambitions so that those around you don't feel insecure? Do you compromise, but really like you're the one giving in? Do you feel confused when you go to your partner, somebody that you have a relationship with? Because you go with an ask, you're clear, and then after the conversation, you feel confused. Do you feel like you can share your truth without being given the silent treatment, without them withdrawing support? Are your needs met sexually, emotionally, financially, relationally? If this is bringing some stuff up for you, this is the marriage benefit imbalance at work. Okay, and you might think, well, I have hacked this because I'm a superwoman and I've hired help. So I don't do the household labor because we have a housekeeper and cleaners, and you don't hack this one. This is how heterosexual marriages and relationships exist unless you have done work to decenter it, to change it. Which, if what I'm saying to you sounds foreign, then you haven't, and you have this imbalance. So it's not your hormones. It's not that you're asking too much. It's not that you just can't be happy. It's not like we make all these things. It's that we've been surviving in a system, in a relationship framework that's like it's set up to fail for women with super traits. And we need to learn a new way. This is why I have created, with my 12 years of experience, the pleasure-centered method. It is a re-education in sex and love, fighting, fucking, feeling, living. If you want a real connected relationship, it's going to also make you get a little uncomfortable first, because we need to get out of our heads and into our bodies, into our hearts. Okay. And this is going to rewire us from survival and overgiving and super traits into intimacy and erotic connection. Because what I have been trying to help women do with pleasure principles, it's a piece of the equation, but it will not work when we have an imbalanced relationship. So, by women taking responsibility for their pleasure centers not being off and their relationship to pleasure, while all those things are still true. And we need to work on those things. And that's our work to do, especially as a superwoman with a cape that's like focused on career and hardworking. Those pleasure centers in our brain can be very off, and we need to work on those beliefs. But blaming a woman for not having desire or not feeling pleasure, it's like blaming a car for not starting when the gas tank is empty. The system was never fueling her. It's like there's a hole in her tank. Like she's set up to fail. She fills it, fills it, fills it. Her relationship is imbalanced. She will always be running on fumes and always blaming herself. This is why I created the 8-week live group coaching intensive where I teach you the pleasure centered method. You're going to learn about your super traits and how they positively and how they negatively impact connection. You're going to learn the pleasure centered method for relationship. So, if you are any of the women that I have been super excited to work with that are done with the current state of affairs, so you're staying, but you're done suffering, you're ready to rebuild, you're ready to start something new. Or if you're considering divorce, you're leaving, you're trying to date again, but these patterns are lingering. We're going to learn to rewire the beliefs, and we're going to learn to spot signs early. We're going to know, hey, is this going to change or not going to change? Where's my line for tolerating? So right now you might feel like you support everyone else's goals while getting crumbs in return. You're soothing everyone's emotions around you while you can't even name your own feelings and your needs go unmet. You're adapting or compromising until your resentment is hardened and you're snapping at people or reacting in ways that you're not proud of. You keep giving chances that never turn into change, and you're done. You carry all the emotional labor and you feel alone. And you've probably blamed yourself. Maybe I'm codependent. Maybe I pick emotionally unavailable men. Maybe I'm asking too much. My standards are too high. But no, actually, because those around you, they benefit from your brilliance. They benefit from your super traits, your loyalty, your empathy, your tolerance, your forgiveness, your responsibility, your hard work. They're what make you so successful. But when it comes to intimacy, we are constantly focusing out. Our attention is on the other person. And the reclamation, our way home, is to learn how to center ourselves and learn how to center pleasure. So, in the 8-week group coaching intensive, what we are going to do, we don't need more talking, more fixing, more performing, more listening to podcasts. We need a method and we need action. So, we're going to work on these calls together. It's how they're designed. It's going to give you tools to rebuild your self-trust, your power. And we're going to have, there's basically 3 steps. You're going to see what's happening. Be finally able to see and understand the invisible patterns that have been keeping you stuck. Why therapy hasn't figured this out. Because therapy doesn't understand power dynamics. Therapy doesn't understand male-centered relationships and empathy, and how we just inherently, because we have super traits, give our power away and erode intimacy. But because these qualities give us success in other areas of our lives, like we don't even for a second think they're a problem in personal relationships. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to apply the pleasure centered method to rebuild trust in ourselves, in our bodies, in our feelings, in our boundaries so that we can be met. We're going to shift out of survival strategies and overgiving, waiting for a crumb in return. And we're going to have clarity, safety, and erotic power. And then the third thing is we're going to start to design a relationship framework that meets us, that excites us. We're going to use this new clarity, new standards, new relational awareness, new skill in our bodies to build relationships where we are fully met erotically, emotionally. Whether you stay, leave, want to start dating again, reclaim your power with the 8-week live group coaching intensive. Imagine a relationship where your feelings are respected, not dismissed. Your goals matter. Intimacy is nourishing instead of draining. You stop wasting years giving chances and feeling shame and resentment. You realize what can be fixed and what's never going to change. And you can actually create something so beautiful from that. You're going to rebuild trust in yourself. Whether you stay, leave, start fresh, you can finally create relationships that feel mutual, alive, sustaining. You didn't sign up for relationships to become invisible, to lose trust in yourself, to lose track of your desires, to be extracted from and have your life expectancy shortened while you simultaneously make everyone's life better. You didn't sacrifice your body, your brilliance, your hard work, just so you could help everyone else live longer. And let me be clear. I think helping others and I love caring for my people. It feels amazing, but there needs to be a mutuality to it. It needs to be reciprocal or it will always fail. It's like a bank account. If you're withdrawing more than you put in every month, you will be bankrupt. So we start October 15th. There are 10 spots available where you reclaim your clarity, your erotic power, and your ability to be fully met. Head to the show notes, claim your spot. Do not let 2026 be a repeat of how you have felt in 2025. Let's do this together. It's going to be fun. We're going to look at some hard stuff, some patterns, some beliefs that you've been carrying around forever. But I promise you, with the clarity that you will have moving forward, you're going to be wondering, where was this information all my life?